It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. White Gay in the building.
Yo, good
How
morning,
you doing?
good morning.
Good to have you.
I forgot to say on Tuesday that I met the ladies of Your View Pigeon. And I was very honored to meet them. I'm very happy to meet them. You know, it's one thing to watch the show. You know, to get connected for us, because you have to meet them.
Yeah.
So now that I met them, I'm now connected to the show. So I'm very happy that I met them. So shout out Abigail, fight out Uvi, shout out Chika, shout out Moyo. And Damilola.
Dami was not there.
So shout out, ladies. I hope you are watching.
Certainly they are watching. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good. Happy to be back still.
Yeah,
Getting all the love still.
Yeah.
And so yesterday something funny happened to me. I went to the mall. First of all, how are Nigerians coping? I went to get some things at the mall. The prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the mall in my own area, the Surulere Mall, I noticed many of the shops are closed. You know, prices are just crazy. You know, tiny items you'll be hearing 100 and something thousand.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand what? Like, I would check. Like, is there a dot in between? Man, there's a lot that Nigerians are going through right now, and I hope, you know, that things will turn out for the better. Yes, but then I had a funny experience yesterday. While I was standing, someone stopped me. I was like, hi. So this young boy in a jacket with a do-rag, like, hi, I like the way you're dressed. I said, thank you. And I was like, what's your name? Meanwhile, my driver was standing there. You could see fire and brimstone coming out of the driver's face. I was like, why are you asking? He says, I want to talk to you about the Lord. The world is coming to an end, whether we like it or not.
You're kidding me.
You know, people are searching for glory and this, but I just want to remind us that, you know, in the end.
Little kid.
And that's all I wanted to say. I was like, ooh, I love this sort of preaching because he did not look like it. But he spoke the word of God.
Isn't that interesting? A little boy?
Well, yes, young boy.
Oh, wow. They're catching them young these days now. Oh, that's really interesting.
We're catching them fashionable.
Fashionable and approachable.
Yes.
I went to the mall also yesterday to pick up a few items for my twins. Their birthday is coming up. And 4 items, and I'm spending, and I'm thinking, I had to ask the lady, are you sure this is the price? She said that's the price. So, for 2 shirts and four shirts. I'm like,
did you try to buy shoes?
I will tell you which shop to go.
I was like, what?
Things.
Are you sure?
In this Lagos.
Please tell us.
Okay, please, I need to know that shop because it's really, really ridiculous. For adults or kids?
Kids.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to have that. So, any plans for the weekend? We're not seeing you this. We're not seeing you the rest of the week. So, what are your plans this weekend?
I'm going to eat pounded yam on Saturday.
Why? Where? Where?
I will invite you.
My friend. No. How can I invite you now?
To
another person's house. My friend, Dr. Alero Roberts. So we did a radio show together last week, and then she says, Nico, about pounded yam. I said, can I? I said, come. Come and let's eat. I'll cook 4 and pounded yam. I said,
obviously, you hardly eat pounded yam in your own house. Because our own house, Mama Brown is so constantly pounding.
I'm very sad to say I do. I pounded yam yesterday.
Why you sad to say it?
Because I did 6-point-something kilometers of exercise and then I now balanced it with
pounded yam. That's right. That's right.
But when you are exercising, sometimes you can get away without food.
That's why. It's because I'm exercising that I can even
you look
dream of it.
Yeah, you've lost a lot of weight.
Lots of weight.
I've lost
I did my over 10,000 steps yesterday. I was like, because I'd already told myself I'm starting in May, so I've started counting my steps.
10,000 steps.
And my 10,000. I did over 10,000 yesterday, and I was quite proud of myself. But in my mind, at the back of my mind, I just remember YK in her blue workout outfit. I'm like, nah. I have no excuse. YK can look like this.
Please, let us go on a break. You are just killing me here. Let us go on a show.
I sent you the exercises.
I've started, actually. I've started.
The weight will drop.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I've started. Although Brown doesn't allow me to because he's messing up my flow. But I'm trying to get
blame me, Mr. Brown.
He's the one that is causing it.
How?
Because I'll tell you how. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with the show. It's Thursdays, our gisting day. But first, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Federal government promises living wage as NLC demands, wait for it, 615,000 naira per month. 17 northbound passengers burned to death in Enugu bus crash. Payment of 2.75 billion naira to property owners on Lagos-Calabar Road begins. Let's see, family heads seek speedy Olubadan coronation as meeting with Ladoja. Okay, which story we're starting with in?
Okay, I'll start with the property owners on the Lagos-Calabar Road to get 2.75 billion compensation. Yes. Owners of properties demolished to give the right of way to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway are to get 2.75 billion compensation from the federal government. This is what the Minister Works, Dave Umahi, said yesterday. He unveiled the new design routes for the 700-kilometer project in Lagos and then went ahead to call out presidential candidate for the Labour Party, Peter Obi. He says that Peter Obi is inciting people of the Southeast against the government over the project. He said that, he explains that affected property owners would be compensated, and he says that Mr. Peter Obi would not be in a position to fight for the ill-informed people he was inciting after getting them in trouble. So, reading is quite a lot, but reading from it, Mr. Peter Obi is saying that it is ill-timed. It's going to affect a lot of businesses. There's a lot of investment that went into the landmark property and beach. And this project, he feels that government is tuning off, what regular Nigerians are asking. But the minister is saying, that by saying these things, he's inciting them, he's giving them wrong information because government is going to compensate them. In fact, at the unveiling, first batch of people were being compensated. So, and that this project is going to bring a lot of, good because it is, as we know, it's supposed to connect Lagos to Calabar. So this is also a good project. Anyways, that's the back and forth. We know that we have many Nigerians who feel that this is ill-timed, but we also have many Nigerians who are looking at the big picture and saying that this is good. So the story now in between would be what government is doing to compensate the businesses, that will be affected by these demolitions, this project.
Okay, so let me take the major headlines. So Labour is demanding 615,000 minimum wage for workers. If you recall, the president had set up a committee in January 2024 to review and negotiate a new minimum wage. So the vice president was speaking. The Minister of State of Labour, Nkiru Onyejoja, said despite the delay, the new minimum wage will take off from April 1st. So regardless of whenever they reach a consensus, April 1st is still going to be the takeoff date. But the vice president was specifically saying that their talks are ongoing, that workers should be patient, that they hit a gridlock with Labour on the negotiations, and that's why the committee has not been able to come up with a figure. However, the talks are ongoing, and that Labour is, on the other hand, asking for 615,000, according to Ajero, who is the Labour chair, who's saying that he has given federal government the deadline, saying that at this point, comrades, we want to inform you that the process of fixing a new minimum wage is still continuing. All parties have agreed 615,000 naira only before our social partners while we await their offer. Remember that earlier in the year, we sent questionnaires to across the nation asking for suggestions. Your response to that questionnaire, which you administered across the 776 local governments, assisted in arriving at the figure of 615,000. So we'll see how that goes. It's a large sum from 35,000 to 615,000 naira. But again, the president is saying that negotiations are ongoing, that regardless of whatever time they decide, April 1st will still be the kickoff time.
You see, what I have a problem with is when you ask for such an outrageous amount, are you working for the people or are you working for yourself? Because government can never pay that. We know.
So I'm thinking that it has to be some form of tactic that they are deploying. Sometimes you go to the market and the seller, you know, you ask for the lowest price or the seller will give you the highest price, hoping to see how you bargain. But it seems ridiculously high, but we'll see.
Because when you say minimum wage is 6.15, what is the maximum wage now?
And I'm happy that, I mean, Edo State Governor changed theirs to 70,000. So hopefully other state governors are they're working towards the 35%, 40%
But you see, when you say 6.15, it's not just government. You're talking across board.
Do you know how many MS?
Who can afford that?
Yeah. All right,
let's
have that story initially.
Yeah, it's about the Ibadan, the Olu Ibadan. Yeah, the mortgages. So those are the Ibadan family compound heads. They all went to visit the Olu Ibadan of Ibadan land. That's the former Oyo State governor, High Chief Rashidi Ladoja. They went there. They greeted him and said thank you for all the help, because there's no time we come to you, you don't greet us, you don't hail us, and he had taken them to court because he said the reason he took them to court was because he thought when it was his own turn to become the Olu Ibadan, they would work against him, but that's now that he's seen that he's going to be, or he has withdrawn the suits, and that they will sign for the new Olu Ibadan to become to take his office as soon without delay.
Like he gives us Olu Ibadan. It's Olu Ibadan. The Punch. Minimum wage, FG labor talks deadlocked, NLC defends 615,000 demand. Excuse me. School mourns 14-year-old British Nigerian killed in the London sword attack. FG restricts Lagos bridges sand miners' licenses. Safe school initiative to cover off-campus hostels, says commander. Agric imports gulp 12 trillion naira despite 9-year anchor borrower scheme. Lagos uncovers under-bridge apartments where tenants pay 250,000 naira rent. FG gives fresh conditions for gas license. Government expenditure rose by 33% in February. And fuel scarcity, FG plans a 15-day emergency fuel supply. Okay, which story? Let's take one.
Who took the sword story?
I get it.
I took the sword story. Okay. Bancroft School, which is the school where Daniel and Johnny attended, the Nigerian young 14-year-old, very sad story, who was just on his way to school when this mad person, I think he first drove his truck into the wall, or the wall or somewhere, stabbed somebody, you know, and then poor Daniel got attacked as well, and he died from his wounds. Some were caught, you know, very, very...
random thing. They just...
I think they have arrested him on suspicion of murder, 36-year-old man. I think it was very, very sad, very, very sad. Yes, Nigerians are mourning. The school is mourning. They say he was a very bright student. You know, took his studies very, very seriously. You know, and it was in the east of London. And I know that train station. I passed that train station. You know, you just hear this kind of thing and you are just really scared that...
Somewhere you pass all this...
You know, poor thing.
Poor sad, it's really sad. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks to stay with us. We are still reviewing Punch. Mariam has a story?
Yes, I do. So the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, yesterday said that government discovered an apartment under the Dolphin Estate Bridge in Ikoyi where tenants pay 250,000 naira annually as rent. We had the special advisor to the governor, Kunle Rotimi Akodu, who further confirmed it, and he gave us like a full details of what happened. He says 23 individuals were arrested during the eviction, and it was carried out by officials of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps. He says the squatters were dwelling under the bridge leading inward Dolphin Estate. He said that the people created an illegal settlement under the bridge, thereby exposing the infrastructure to impending destruction, and that these 23 people that were arrested would face the law. And then he also confirmed that there were 86 rooms. They were partitioned into 10 by 10. And
86?
12, yes, 10 by 10 and 12 by 10, with squatters paying an average rent of 250,000 per annum. So, of course, there are a lot of things shocking about this, is that that bridge has been taken over by squatters, and that people are actually collecting money from these squatters. And they are collecting as much as 250,000.
You know, I can't blame the squatters. It's the people collecting the money.
Of course.
Government should go after those people. I mean, you are cheating them. You are taking 250,000 a year from them for...
These are people probably coming from different parts of the country, looking for somewhere. They're just in Lagos for the first time, trying to get settled. So you're taking advantage.
It's not small money. It's 250,000.
I know, yeah, annually. Sure.
For under the bridge.
It's better than sleeping on the road. At least the rain will not kill you there.
Under the bridge is not under the road.
At least the rain will to protect you. I'm just trying to...
They build containers.
Understand where they're coming from. It's wrong, absolutely.
wrong.
No, but how
Absolutely.
long has that been there that it has not come to... Well, it must have been there. They must have been there for a while, collecting this money.
86 rooms, that's a long time. How do you build? You can't build it 6 rooms.
You are collecting this money. You are not even... It's not your land.
Not paying taxes.
You're not paying taxes.
Okay, let me just talk about the anchor borrowers. I've been quite interested in anchor borrowers for a while. So that, as a review of the anchor borrowers, so Nigeria spent about 11.6 trillion on importation of agricultural produce during the 9-year period, where it spent on the return, spent 1.1 trillion on the central bank's anchor borrowers. So for anchors borrowers, they spent 1.1 trillion naira. But on the other hand, they still imported 11.6 trillion worth of products from abroad. This is according to the analysis done by the Foreign Trade Services Statistics published by the National Bureau of Statistics between 2016 and 2023. The data broke down the volume of agri imports recorded. The major imports are from United States, Canada, Argentina. But what made this quite interesting is that Nigeria could only manage export worth 3.4 at a balance trade of 8.1 trillion. So there's a potential of 8.1 trillion. We're only able to export 3.4 trillion. Just letting you know that the anchor borrowers, yes, the intention was great, but it wasn't fantastically successful because we're still importing a huge chunk of our products. The idea was for farmers to be connected and linked and anchored to the manufacturers who need their produce. So to have them to sell locally. But many of them are still exporting. So there's a lot of issues with that, but I'm hoping that the intention which was created for can be achieved with better policies, measures in place for it to move forward.
I just wanted to take this short story in the Punch as well. The minister has directed the approval for sand mining beneath the bridges in Lagos State should be restricted to a minimum of 10 kilometers from the center of the bridge. He said some are doing 1.2 kilometers. So it's affecting the piles and it's really dangerous. So he said it has to be 10 kilometers away from the bridge. I think that is so important because the bridges will collapse.
Did they have to tell you?
Can you imagine?
But it's good that it's documented, it's written out.
Please put it as policy, we understand, but like, you have to be told.
Daily Sun. Workers angry over federal government's delay on minimum wage. Lagos Calabar Highway FG begins payment of 2.7 billion naira compensation to affected owners. Fuel scarcity, reps demand clampdown on hoarders. Israel-Iran crisis responsible for fuel scarcities, Ipman. Abia North or Jikalu intensifies schools construction in Abiriba, Nkporo communities. PDP begins nationwide reconciliation. Turkey to join South Africa's genocide case against Israel at World Court. Okay, which story? Who has any story?
Yes, I have the Sun. So Ipman is saying that scarcity of fuel spread. The scarcity of fuel that we're experiencing right now it can be blamed on the Israel-Iran crisis, and that it's affecting, transportation, logistics because of the crisis happening in the Middle East. And he says that NNPC had increased efforts too to alleviate the situation. They've opened up their depots to ensure steady supply of products, and that these products, other stakeholders are just saying that government is doing what it can, to alleviate the issue. The issues in the Middle East is what is causing this. So I just hope we'll get to a point, especially for a country that, we excavate crude oil, and now we have a refinery that very soon will come up, that we would not be caught up in these, this crisis, how it will not affect us so badly. When we had the Ukraine war, the Ukraine-Russia war affected bread for some reason, flour and wheat for some reason, and here we are now struggling with petrol shortage because of the crisis in the Middle East. I understand that these crises that happen globally affect the world one way or the other, but as a country that we have crude oil, this is the more reason why we need to work on refining our products and making sure that we're doing a lot of local production.
So for those of you interested in the Israeli war going on in Gaza, so if you recall, the International Court of Justice had ordered Israel to refrain from any acts that could fall under the Genocide Convention and to ensure its troops commit no genocidal acts against Palestinians after South Africa had accused Israel of state-led genocide in Gaza. So Turkey, the Turkish foreign minister, Hakan Fidan, said yesterday that Turkey would also join South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. As you also know, Israel and its Western allies described the allegation as baseless, and the final ruling in South Africa's ICJ case is in The Hague will be awaited from The Hague.
Okay, so there was a terrible accident on the in Enugu by the Maduka University. A bus, an 18-seater bus, plunged into the fence of the Maduka University, located at Ekwegbe in Igbo Etiti local government area. The bus, the police said it was speeding, high speed again, and then he now plunged, and the car caught fire. 18 people, 16 were burnt to death, 14 male and 2 female. No, it's really terrible. Yes. Because there were 18 people, 2 sustained injuries and have been taken to the hospital.
Oh my
and
God.
They've given, because they can't identify the people, so they've given a phone number, or 2 phone numbers. So I'm going to read out those numbers. If you're looking for your person, 0809 888 0172 or 0808 667 1202, or send emails to info@enugupolice@gmail.com. Very, very sad. I hope I read the numbers out slowly.
They can always record, and they can always record.
If you're looking for family members, they were in.
Check those calls.
Very, very terrible. They have to stop these people from speeding.
You tell them to do road. You do road and they speed on the road. If you don't do the road, they'll slow down. I don't even know what to do.
You know, cars that do public transportation that are unable to go beyond a certain speed limit. That's what happens. We need to do local production of cars, since we know that Nigerian drivers don't seem to understand these things.
Moving on now to Vanguard.
How we just start making noise.
Yes.
Now, this Third Mainland Bridge that they just fixed, do you know how many accidents have happened between the time it was fixed? Yes, that's happening, that they're recording. People are just speeding. Flying over the bridge.
I say one car passed me on Sunday. If
they don't fix car, they fix road.
You complain.
Fix road. They are speeding and killing people.
You know there are cameras there.
Yeah.
I don't think they have enough, because by now they should have been giving people their bills.
Okay, let me move on to Vanguard very quickly. Labour gives federal government May 31st deadlines for minimum wage. Banks close 2 million accounts over BVN and NIN. Nasima President Oye to speak at Vanguard Economic Summit. Insecurity Matawale urges U.S. to share intel on terrorism banditry. And May Day, governors promise better working conditions, pay rise for workers. So let me take you have a story?
I have a story.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, so Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Bello Matawale, hosted the Assistant Secretary for Defense for African Affairs at the U.S. Department of Defense, Jennifer Zakrisky, and her team at the Ship House. And one of the things that he talked about was that there needs to be intelligence sharing between Nigeria and the United States of America in order to fight banditry and terrorism in the country. And then he listed areas of possible collaboration to include intelligence sharing aimed at bolstering the fight against insecurity. So he mentioned that there's sometimes that the U.S. will send early warning to its citizens in countries where there are crises, and that he says those intelligence can be shared with Nigeria as well as a warning for impending attacks. So you remember sometimes we'll just be sitting down quietly, we'll hear that America has sent a memo to its citizens saying they shouldn't go to a certain place or they've heard certain news. So they are doing it above our heads, meaning that even our intelligence or our DSS is unaware that this information, America has gotten this information, which I find completely rude. I mean, if you're living in our country and you have information that there could be,
you should share it.
It's sort of, an attack, you should share it with our intelligence unit. I mean, also, it means that we need to do better. Outsiders should not know before us what is likely to happen in our country. But anyways, the Minister of State is saying, please make sure that we have... They don't want to spoon feed us, and maybe they don't trust who they can give this information to before it's turned around.
Let's not speak for the US.
Anyway,
we don't know.
We don't know. We're just giving possible scenarios.
Was it not? Was even the office of the NSA? I mean, what is it?
Yes,
that guy escaped.
Who?
The Binance guy.
He was here now. He escaped. He said he was going to Moscow.
But they've caught him now.
I don't
They
care
caught
if
him
they
in
caught him.
Kenya. I'm sure the Kenyans are
just
giving
like we
up.
caught Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, so we have a relation with
So
Kenya.
Kenyans can give up,
Nnamdi
but
Kanu's case
Nigerians
was
will
totally
let go.
different. Nnamdi Kanu had to run for his life.
What I'm saying is that we have a
We caught
relationship
them.
with Kenya. So if you go and run to Kenya, you will get caught. Nigeria has a
That's
very
because
good
he made the mistake. If I run to another
It's
place,
actually
they
Kenyan.
would
It's
have
half
caught him.
Kenyan. It's actually half Kenyan.
Went
Let me
home.
take this last story. Commercial banks in Nigeria closed over 2 million bank accounts in the first quarter of 2024 in effort to clean their books of the questionable accounts and comply with regulatory orders on linkage of bank accounts to national identity number. This is contained in the report by the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, which also indicated that the number of inactive bank accounts grew month on month by 4 million. A bank account is classified inactive when it records 0 transactions, including deposits, withdrawals, transfers, for 6 months. Yeah, I have one of those accounts, so I'm sure it's been closed already. Okay, I think that's all we can take on front page view. There was a story that caught my attention in The Guardian.
Okay.
I wish I could take it. PDP chid Ayedatiwa for budgeting 5 billion naira to renovate daycare centers. I'm not sure what that means, but I'd like to read that story. But unfortunately, we don't have time.
Important.
Daycare centers, 5 billion naira to
I don't know how many daycare centers.
well, unfortunately, we don't have any more time. We have to wrap up. That's all we can take, but it's an interesting topic to review and see what's going on. So they're buying strollers and buying... Yeah, they want to buy strollers.
We need to read it after the
Let
break.
me see if you have to say that. The director has not disturbed me yet. Let me just say.
Okay, let's see.
The party, PDP, in Ondo State chapter, has carpeted Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa for allegedly allocating 5 billion to renovate daycare centers in the state. The party said the amount was meant to buy baby strollers, toys, beddings. Another 18 billion naira loan was to be sourced from the French Development Agency for the provision of water in Akure and its environs. So, as I said, it's something worth looking at again. But that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, it's Thursday. We like to talk about family, relationships, and everything in between. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Thanks for staying with us. So, as I said, today's our Thursday show. We call it our Open House Thursday, where we discuss things out there, family relationships. And today we're talking about being body positive or body shaming. There's always that thin line. Everybody wants to be slim. Everybody wants to look healthy. Everyone wants to look trimmer. But also, everybody wants to be confident in who they are, regardless of what kind of body they carry. And there was a video that caught our attention where young people, perfect Gen Z group, and they were having a young man who seemed to be quite disturbed by a fat person being called fat. She's fat. The fact that he accepts what the society is saying, that you have to look a certain way to be attractive. So in his own mind, he feels that a young person should be slimmer, a slim person is attractive, and fat people aren't. And the young lady, on the other hand, who seemed to be the person who was, she was slightly plus size, and she was trying to defend the fact that she's confident in who she is, and her bigness should not define who she is, her character shouldn't define her character. But when we saw this back and forth with these two people, it was an important conversation to have, because the truth is that there's always that part of being, we raise our children to be confident in their own skin, regardless of what is around them. At the same time, we also raise them to be healthier, to make right, healthy decisions. So how do we marry both? So some people, unfortunately, they can't help it. They are plus size, or they are big. They were born with, they said big bones, or they were told not to say they don't like big bones. But they are born in that way. And I know a family trying hard to help their son lose weight. I mean, I feel bad. I see the kid walking. My kids are in the room and in the house, and I see this kid on the road. I'm driving home from picking up the kids in school. The kids are in the car, and I'm seeing their neighbor who he's made to walk. This young, he's a kid, he's a baby, but his parents are scared. They don't want him to be met with society that will be embarrassing him or body shaming him. So they're letting a little cute boy to walk home. Sometimes he's asking to ride his bicycle because he wants to lose the weight. So are we putting too much pressure on these kids, or what do you think about this whole thing of losing weight or being body positive in your own skin? Let me start with you, Mariam.
Okay, so, you know, I understand body positivity, and I'm for it. And that's because, although it's a lot of people who have a lot of weight that have carried that mantra, which is, I'm who I am, I'm happy, and I carry it with pride. And it's coming from a place of abuse and shame, where if you're plus size, it wasn't always that way. There was a certain period, you're plus size, you're just seen as like you're lazy, you eat too much, you don't really care about yourself, you know, and that is what it connotes. So it's not just the fact that you're fat, it's the fact that you are fat because you are lazy, you don't want the best for yourself, you're not doing, you know. So people are standing against that, because we have people really who are working out, who are eating well, but they carry more weight than others. There are body types or body shape types that, you know, just makes you fuller than another person. Now, I haven't said that. There's something I'm seeing now on the back of this body positivity, where a lot of us are just, well, it's body positivity, so I'm going to eat anything I want, eat junk, even when it's not healthy for me. I would not exercise, I won't do anything, because we are body positive. I think those are two different things. We have people who are healthy, doing their best, but this is their body, and this is their body at its healthiest. And then we have people who have just let themselves go so that they can fall under the bandwagon of body positivity. And those are the people I feel, you know, sometimes we speak to, which is, remember, your health is important. Your heart, your kidney, your lungs, those are important. Whatever lifestyle, whatever size that you are, your lifestyle is important. And that also goes for, you know, slim people who, unfortunately for them, which it may look like it's a good thing, you get away with not being called fat or being condemned for your size, but you don't have the right lifestyle. So your body covers all the mistakes that you're doing. You're not eating well, you're not exercising, but somehow you're slim, and then the effect of it catches you, you know, out of the blue. And you know, people are wondering, but she's so slim, but you haven't been doing the work. So for me, it's really about healthy living. I know people will say, oh, you'll die anyway. We understand everybody will die, but while you're living, are you living well? Are you healthy? And for me, I've seen lots of confident, big-bodied girls, you know, when we're growing up. You know how it is. You don't even need to work out so much. Everybody had a particular shape. They carry themselves with so much confidence. There's some clothes that you wear that just sits better even on someone who's big-bodied. And I would like to see someone in that body carry themselves with confidence.
Yeah.
And for those who always call people out just for the fact that they look a certain size, not for their lifestyle, for me, it's a problem.
Okay, when you saw this video, how did it come across to you? I'm not sure if our producer can show the video just to see, but we don't have the video to show on screen. But the truth is that what came to you when you saw that video?
When I watched it, because I'm coming from a place of where I think I was overweight, and I made a conscious effort, or I am making, I won't say I made because I'm still at it. I am making a conscious effort to lose that weight. I could not really understand where she was coming from, unless she is actually, there's nothing she can do about her size. I mean, there are some people who are that way because they are ill. You know, you have an illness, you can't lose weight.
Yeah.
That's different. I think it's wrong to just say, oh, you are fat. Okay, let me report myself. One of our dancers is
Plus size.
Plus size.
more than plus size.
She gained the weight?
She gained the weight.
Okay.
When she started in the band, she had curves. She was nice, you know, nice big bum, everything. She was nice.
Working.
But
Yes,
Recently.
she will eat eba. She will drink beer. She's like now like this. And you are dancing. So I had to call her. I said, come. So you can't be dancing and be like this now. People are coming to watch. I mean, so there's a difference because when she first started, she had body. She was not a slim person. But now she has now become a fat person.
Yes.
So I don't want to say, I'm not body shaming her. I'm telling her, this is your work.
For the work, yes. It's required for the job she's doing. Understood.
Yes.
But Waike, my own worry is the mentality of this young. That's why I highlighted the Gen Z part. He's a young person. You would think that their generation are more accepting. I don't know, maybe not accepting. Are more understanding or accepting of the fact that people need to be allowed to live their lives the way they choose. We're in the time where people make choices. If I choose to be plus size, I want to be allowed and be confident in my plus size. If I choose to be eating about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, allow me. As long as my character is who I am. If I'm going to, God forbid, I drop dead at 50, it doesn't concern you. God forbid I drop dead at 60, it doesn't concern you. I have made my choices. When do we get to the point where, as Nigerians, we accept adults on their choices for who they are and what they've become? Why do we always make it a point to say, oh, that person's attractive, oh, that person's not attractive, oh, she's big? Must we always label people? That's my worry, because for a young man like this, to outrightly say, she's fat. Yes, I can't be attracted to that. It's horrible, it's disgusting. That for me is heavy. He has no right to be saying that kind of thing to anybody else, don't you think?
Okay, maybe he doesn't have the right to say it, but he has the right to his decisions, to his preferences.
Yeah.
So now, you're right about this is my life. I'll live the way I want to live. I want to eat about morning, afternoon, and night. I am the size that I am. I love it. Good. But what I heard him say was, so this is who you are. This is your choice. Then accept that it's being described as FAT. That is it. So now you have taken this FAT, carry it with pride. So if I call you your name, don't be upset because you have accepted it.
Why you get upset?
Yes, why you get upset? Because I'm calling you the word. Then, but you know what I was saying is,
I hear you, Miriam. Yeah. I love that statement.
Yeah. But also what I am, I want us to look at. Do we remember, for those who used to watch Oprah then, we saw her journey back and forth. She struggled. So one thing with the fat thing is many people assume it's only those who are lazy and not eating well or have a terrible lifestyle that are fat. There are some people, like you mentioned earlier, who are ill. And, you know, with science and everything that we're seeing now, we also notice that there are different kinds of issues that people have. Is it insulin resistance? You know, so many things. Our lifestyle is changing. Now, contraceptives, some people have said that. Then also the kind of food that we eat, whether we like it or not, additives, preservatives in our food, in making our bodies react differently, you know, to food. Food at first was meant to nourish us. We get it from the ground, we eat it, it nourishes us, we move around. Now we get foods that have been pre-packaged and all sorts of chemicals put in it to give it its color, to give it its taste, to give it its whatever. We ingest that. Not only do we end up looking fat, we also end up really sick and we're constantly in the hospital. So the issue for me, body positivity, is about those who are accepting their curves, who are accepting, their bodies, not because they're unhealthy, but because this is who they are at their healthiest. Now, I do a lot of book reading, like in schools where there are, people of Caucasian people. And I find that they are quite smaller than we are. Even when they are tall, they seemed, we don't say big bone, but they seem quite small boned. And I know that if you, as a Black Nigerian woman, if I were to be in that space constantly, even if I was working out and everything, I may constantly feel as if I am big or bigger or fat. But really, my body type is just not the same as their body type. So for me, that is body positivity, knowing that I am a big Nigerian woman. And even if I stand beside a slight or slim, lean Oyibo woman, it doesn't mean that I am it doesn't mean that I am unhealthy, does not mean that I'm fat. It just means I have a different body type and I'm positive in that body type.
My worry, however, YK, is the fact that this thing we're talking about has started to affect our children. Kids are bullying their friends because maybe their friends are fat, they're big, girls are conscious of, I don't want to eat this, I want to lose weight, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Eat food. Yes, you get to the point where you not start being conscious. It's good for you to be conscious of what's healthy and what's unhealthy. But the truth is that we're not allowing these children have ice cream with excuse me, have ice cream at their own discretion or when we think it's right for them to have ice cream. Right now, there's a lot of restrictions here and there. You can't do this after. Which is fine, but I hate the fact that kids are now comparing each other. They're now body shaming each other because of this.
No, I saw this family somewhere. The children were fat. I'm sorry, they were big. The neck was like this, and they were eating hamburger. And they were eating, and I was just looking. What? You don't think these children should be on a diet? So, am I going to say that the mother is encouraging it now? The mother is encouraging, because I'm not saying diet, but please give them the healthy food now. They were eating hamburger and they were sitting down, and I was just looking and I was saying, eh?
We have one culture in Nigeria.
No.
Where?
When that child grows up, because you see, your size starts from when you are a child. Okay.
Wait, let me pause. You have a call. It's been holding for a while. Just 1 second. Samuel, thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
The issue of this body shaming and body positivity, I like what Miriam said. The moment I have decided to accept whatever I am, I think I should be able to build the stamina within me to stand whatever comes from outside. It's more like, okay, my name is Samuel, and then you call me Samuel, and I became angry about it. I feel the whole issue of body positivity, it starts from you as an individual. You accept who you are, you carry it with pride, and whenever anybody from outside tries to attack you from it, already you've known this is who you are. So you won't get upset with whatever comes out around from anybody.
Point taken.
I really, you see, when I'm not even saying I'm slim now. I'm not even slim now.
You are.
Anything.
A year ago, when I was fatter, when you call me fat, I will just swallow it like that because
you know
I know that the young that's waiting for me at home, nobody is enjoying it but me.
For some children that get this big, it's not their fault. They're eating the same thing other kids eat. So I know that there was a particular kid that I was telling his mom don't stress yourself. The boy will lose the weight as he's going because she was so worried. But now I've seen the boy, he's healthy, he's playing football in school, he's entering secondary school. But when he was much younger, she was so worried because he was really big. Listen, they will lose the fat. Let these kids eat as long as make sure that they're not overdoing it. But when your child is plus size, you shouldn't make a parent worry and start getting depressed and start forcing the child to be eating salad. No. I think you can reduce the quantity, but make sure your child has the freedom to eat as they choose to eat. That's how I feel.
Okay, so now we're
so
going.
If your
So
child
now
wants to eat 4 hamburgers, sorry, Miriam.
No, I will not allow my child to eat 1 hamburger. You can have 1 hamburger, but you can't have 4 hamburgers. It's just me ensuring, but I'm not going to stop my child from eating hamburger because she's big. I know, because I believe that
This family I'm talking about, the children were eating like 3, 4 hamburgers.
Okay, so I feel we're in a different time. There used to be a time where we ate mostly food from the ground, and then we would have Coke when brand name. You have soft drinks when you go to a friend's party, and you'd be excited about that. Or one weekend, your parents get you ice cream. But now you have ice cream in your house. Mondays to Sundays, you go there, you fetch a little after food. After that, you have cake. Then you go to school, you have talk shop, you eat everything. Then you come back again. So we are eating more junk, and our children are eating more junk than we are. And the effect on us is even different for them because we have built some sort of, muscle and whatever from eating well as children. Our parents fed us well. So whatever bad behavior we have now is not affecting us as much as it's affecting them. There are more children now with diabetes and some of these health problems that we used to see in people in their 40s and their 50s. We have children who are struggling with that. So that is a health issue, and I feel that parents should be concerned about that. If your lifestyle, if your eating habits, it's something that makes your child ill, be concerned. And if your child is eating like every regular kid and for some reason that child is not doing well, take that child to the hospital to find if there's any other underlying illnesses that may be the cause. But let's just say you are, there's a way. Okay, look at Mariah, and let me use Mariah's body type. Mariah is full-figured. She's a figure 8. She's bodied here and bodied here. Exactly.
Stop describing me like that.
Mokasi and Bakasi.
And then her waist is
and
really
then small stomach again.
Thank you. Then you now have someone beside her who has nothing.
Okay, please, give me a show.
Get out.
And then you have someone else who does not have that body type. And Mariah is constantly killing herself to be like that person. So you are eating about the same time, your lifestyle is similar, you're working out and everything, but you're complaining that your hips are not as slim as this one's hips. That is a problem because that's not your body type. So I want us to separate it. Body positivity is not about encouraging bad lifestyle. It's not about encouraging our children to keep eating junk. There's this very popular person that puts his child up on social media. That child looked quite unhealthy. Even the father himself, sometimes when I see him, I'm like, how does he breathe? And this child, you could hear him breathing heavily and was still eating a lot of food, and they were celebrating it. There's a culture we have in Nigeria where we give our children so much because we feel that it shows that we are finally arrived. We are now rich people.
Let me go on a
But
break.
I was just going to go there.
Don't sabotage your child's health for that. Now, to show that you're rich is that your children are eating healthy foods. That's all.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're talking about body shaming, body positivity, people's perspective, and we're now moving on to beauty standards. Let me come to you. You had a few comments, right?
Yeah, and I have one comment that I want to read. It says, it's from Moses Ade. It says, Ade Anikuti, it's open house Thursday. You can say anything. Don't mind Murayo. So I had to just read that message.
So talking about beauty standards, because so we talked about healthy living, how to raise our kids properly, how to protect them. But today's beauty standards promotes thin waist, big front, big back, and the whole works. And many people are finding it difficult to find a spouse or find a significant other. Maybe they don't have a chiseled body, they don't have, because men to have the issues with their pot bellies. A lot of men who are drinking beers every day, they're having issues with meeting, because a lot of women are demanding minimum 6-pack, minimum at least.
You say minimum?
No,
Maximum.
4-pack.
Minimum 4-pack.
2-pack.
But if you don't have a height, we can still manage as long as I don't want to see pot belly. So there are demands left, right, and center. So this body shaming versus beauty standard, like how do you see it? Especially because from the video we're looking at, the girl was saying, I can't kill myself. This is who I am. And the guy said, well, unfortunately, you can't get married. You can't find a spouse. You can't meet somebody. Nobody's going to be attracted to you as you are. And I'm thinking, how do people still think like that? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this body standards?
Of course, there are different body types, as we said before. And we have beauty standards. And for me, I think that there are different beauty standards per your culture. There's the Western culture that likes the very thin, slight, female body. But then there's the African culture that likes the fuller-bodied woman.
Yes.
And the full-bodied woman. And because of how mainstream Western culture is, we find our men, started leaning towards that. But we are back to a culture where we now have these slight women who are artificially, adding the features that are natural to the African woman. Because now men are accepting this beauty. There used to be, was it Lonely Londoners I read? I can't remember which book, where a man, his preference was for full-bodied women. But he would lie to his friends about it. He would not want, he really was attracted to, but he would lie to his friends because for them it was low caste in your bush to like that sort of women. You must come from Africa to like that sort of women. So to show that you are now educated and exposed, you go towards a slimmer person. But now we have, Africa is coming into its own with our music, with our fashion, with our women, with our body type. And we can see the Oyimbos too now looking at us and say, oh, this looks good. And trust Oyimbo, when they like something, they invent it. So they invented all the things that they fix inside. So you can have different beauty standards. This young man in the video was like, nobody would like you. You may not like it, but I've been to 2 weddings recently where the men are tiny, small, and the girls are packing it in front and behind. And I'm like, that is body positivity. He loves it so much. He's putting a ring on it. But if you don't like it, go for the other type. But it does not make, I think what a lot of girls are fighting is, don't say because I am this size, it means I am ugly, it means I am not smart, it means I am lazy. I'm just a different type of babe.
Let me take this
and
call.
you don't like me, go and find your type.
Atolagbe from Isolo, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Moana.
Good morning.
Yeah, YK in the building.
Yo.
YK in the building. Good morning.
Yo.
Good morning, Miriam.
Morning, Miriam.
Yeah, good morning. Based on the topic, it's not all men that like fat women. Men go for slim women, as you can see, because sometimes fat make you older than your age. So men don't go for it. Look at YK. I've known YK for many years now. She's still in age the way she is. Assuming YK is a fat woman with her age, look at she's still claiming under 16. YK is 60 plus. Look at her, she's still looking very smart, looking sharp. So in terms of fatness is not something that is good for anybody at all. If you find yourself in the midst of your age, you're going to look older than your age. And based on what Mary is saying, if you see most of Nigerian young guys getting married to the wife, especially the fat ones, you hardly see them go for the slim ones. Because the slim ones will not listen to you. It's only the fat ones, because they don't have option. They want to get married.
That's so nice.
So we should control whatever we are eating. And our diet is very, very important as well. And also exercise will also help you. It's going to keep your shape, it's going to keep you smart. But once you are fat, you will not be smart. And once you are sleeping, in the midst of once you are sleeping, it will be affecting the people you are sleeping with.
Thank you very much, Atolagbe. Thank you for your view. But the truth is that I know some fat people who carry it well. They have a good height, they have good shoulders, they are confident, they speak well, they have good jobs, and and it speaks from their confidence. So the only reason why they want to lose weight a bit more is for health reasons. So they don't feel weighed down, but it doesn't mean they're not attractive. I know some really attractive plus size women who carry their weights very well. So that's why I'm trying to have this conversation, because a lot of men think like Tolagbe, once you're plus size, they just look at it. They don't even give you a chance to know the beauty of your character, the person you have inside. They choose not to, just because you're plus size. And it's a problem. And for a young person, like the man in this video, I'm so sad that our producers couldn't put it on for us to watch. For a young man like that, to have that mentality that is willing to judge you on how you look without even trying to meet the person, for me, is a problem. I think the reason why I wanted this conversation to be is that we need to highlight how character should be above everybody's. When you're looking for somebody, it should be the first thing you look at before you start thinking of the person's weight. Weight can be lost as you connect with the person's character. Both of you can work together to lose weight, to help the person lose weight if you so choose, if she so chooses.
Mariah, let me just tell you something. Men are
visual. Yeah.
Visual.
Yeah. I get that.
Visual.
I don't even know where they got that.
No, hold on.
I get that. I hear that.
Listen.
You know I don't listen. Because
no, you must listen. Wait. I let you finish. Let me say my own. Then you can answer me. See, men are visual creatures, whether we like it or not. Now, there are men who are attracted to big-boned women, fatter women. I know a man, he's only a big woman that he likes. He can never... Someone like me, I'm totally unattractive to him.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, that kind of man is not going to come and... I might be very in his own space where it comes to my brain and everything. Maybe we can connect. But he's not even going to come to me because he's not even attracted to me in that way. Now, the same way, a man that sees maybe a big boned or a fatter lady says, no, he's not going to go and find out whether she's big boned, whether she's intelligent or they are in the same intellectual space. No, he's not going to go and find out. Unless they sit down, they're not even talking to each other like that, and then they start to connect.
Okay.
On
and
a
then he
different
says,
level.
I like her.
We're saying the same thing.
We're not saying the same thing. We're not saying the same thing. I'm saying a man is not going to. So if that is not his type, if that is not his type, he's not even going to go and find out whether she's his type.
The reason why I didn't want you to finish on that point is because we get that all the time. Men are attracted to what they see. Men are visual. Women are equally visual. The same visuality a man has, a woman has it. We are able to probably control ours, but it doesn't mean that I am also attracted to rubbish. I see what I like and I know what I like. So I don't want us to always make it look as if only men are visual. We're both visual, number one. Number two, the reason why I was saying the same thing is that there's a possibility that if a man who is visual sees somebody who is plus size, he's not automatically attracted, no doubt about it. But because he's mentally at power, mentally superior, he's willing to have a conversation with a human being. In having that conversation, you realize that this girl is actually a good person. And gradually, the attraction begins to build. So initially, yes, you didn't see her as somebody attractive, but eventually to build. So what I'm trying to say is that we must encourage our men to be willing to look above and beyond, oh, I'm a visual person. Listen, put that aside for a second. Judge the person according to who they are. And then you can decide you don't want to be with that person. But we shouldn't always continue that men are visual. Women are equally visual.
Even if a woman is visual, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Will you look at, I remember your bucket list now. I remember your bucket list.
Yes.
Tall, dark, handsome.
Yes.
Why did you say fat, short? You didn't.
It's my own preference.
There
was a guy that
So there is no way a short, fat, no matter how intellectually in the same space he was with you, you will look at him and when he starts to talk to you, you will say...
There are different factors, YK. If I was looking for money, what if I was looking for money? I'm not interested.
But if you are looking for money, that man will look like
Denzel.
Denzel Washington.
So
it is what you are looking for now.
Mariah, I don't agree with you. Men are truly visual, honestly. And if they are going to approach you romantically, first of all, it's what they see that they would gravitate towards. I'm not saying that a man will now eventually decide only on your looks. you know, how far he wants to go with the relationship. Eventually, there are other factors, as you mentioned, that will come into play. But with women, as visual as we are, when we want to be with someone romantically, the looks is not number one. We may see you, we like you, and then when you open your mouth and say something, we're like, please go away. A man is willing to let a lot of things go away if you look a certain way.
Yeah.
You are talking, you're not making sense, but she's fine, sha. You say something, you insult, you do that, but she's fine, sha. It takes him to maybe level 5 of your bad behavior before you say, see, with your fineness, be going. A woman, she looks at you, you have 6-pack, everything. Wow, nice. Then you open your mouth and say, how was your night? Like, can you imagine? He told me how was my night. And you don't want to ever speak to that person again. Many girls, beautiful girls, we've seen them, they get married to much older men who are pot-belly but have a lot of money. They are visual, but they are also, you know, material. So that's how it works.
Materials.
Yes.
Samuel, the holding from Jos. Thanks for calling. Sorry for keeping you. Samuel,
Yeah, I'm with you. Right?
you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. You see, this body of beauty. You see, like in Africa, we get beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You see, if you have a body that's fat as cow, and your bad character is being fatter than that body, that is why you are doing yourself of harm. But you are fat, but your character, good character is fatter than your body. You see, there's no reason men would be away from you. What you should do is this. Don't watch what you eat. Your lifestyle should be positive.
We're not talking of fat people.
Let it be more positive than your body. You see, you'll be attracted to it. But in a situation where you are fat and you don't even have value to yourself, you are not adding anything to yourself, anything value to yourself, that is where you remain fatter, quote and unquote. But you have a body that is as fat as I said, as fat as how. But your positivity and your character, your positive character, your lifestyle, everything about you is excellent. Your body will be subjected. So your character will speak about your body.
Honestly, in fact, it's not easy to be plus size in this part of the world because the kind of thing people say to you, I mean, I think that's a bit much. I mean, so don't you think society judges plus size people too much, way too much? And I think it's rather unfair.
No, I think, you see, bigger women in this part of the world have it better than slimmer women, because I used to be very slim. I used to be extremely thin, not even slim, thin. Men will be more attracted to
that was back then. Now I'm talking about back then. We like plus size.
I'm telling you,
the Gen Z guys like bigger girls.
This boy that was talking on the video is Gen Z.
He's one of the, I don't know if he's Gen Z, he looks millennial, but most of these boys I see, they like bigger girls. And that's why I also say they look at these older women. They like you full-bodied. For them, that's the epitome. All the people that they are looking at and following, all the Nicki Minaj's, the Megan Thee Stallion, all of them are big. And those are the ladies, the pictures that they put on their walls or put on their phones. So that is what they're appreciating now. When I was growing up as well, I was really thin. Nobody cared for me at all. The girls that were, you go into a place, you go to boys' school, the girls that the boys will rush were the curvy girls, you know. So we're talking fat is different from
Anyways,
bigger
we have to wrap up on
babes.
this topic. We have to wrap up on this. But I think bottom line is the truth is that everybody wants to be healthy, right? Nobody wants to walk up the stairs breathing hard and saying, you know, feeling helpless or feeling tired. So we understand the need to be healthy. But also, because I'm speaking from the side of plus size women, we don't want to be body shamed. We don't want people to be calling us FAT. Mm-hmm. We don't want people to.
Can I ask you this
yes.
question? I've watched you diet. I've watched you go from this to this. It's not just because you self want to look attractive now. You self want to look in the mirror, put on clothes and say, man, yeah. So it's self-love.
Let me get there. Don't tell me. I made that decision. Nobody forced, nobody put a gun to my head and said, Mariah, go and lose weight. I made a decision that I will begin to lose weight before myself.
You
so
felt better.
don't that, and I saw that from observing, from looking around. It was my decision. It wasn't like you. You didn't put me under pressure to go and lose weight. You didn't say, Mariah, see how fat you're looking. Go and lose weight. Nobody said that to me.
Nobody said that.
So I'm saying, so
but you said it to yourself. So if they call you at that point, someone says you are fat. You still love yourself,
yes.
Whether they say you are fat or whether you are fat or not. My daughter, when she will look at me, she will hey, look at your 1-pack. Get out. I still like my food. Bring the food, bring the food.
Yeah.
I don't care. I have decided not to care. So if they body shame you, I'll be proud of who you are. Don't start complaining, they're calling me fat, Enjoy it. Live it. Enjoy it. That's my own point.
Yeah.
Don't, I
think
it's because I've decided to lose weight that I am.
Yeah.
I say when my brother,
But
there's no
people
time I
get
enter
body
my
shamed as well.
My brother's apartment.
as well as us.
See your
Why do you
stomach.
keep saying us? Anyway,
Not as much as us.
people get body shamed as well. Are you joking? When they call it thin people, get
yes, no.
body shamed.
They will tell you,
Bonga fish. Have you heard bonga fish? I heard that a lot when I
there's
was
one
younger because I was really
like
thin.
pagao.
That's all we can take on this segment. Let's go. We have another topic we want to talk about, but I think in a nutshell, let's not body shame each other. If you want to lose weight for yourself, not for anybody else. And if you're not attracted to somebody who's plus size, look the other way. The other options. Leave her alone in her own skin. She's fine. Don't have to label her fat, ugly, whatever it is. That labeling itself is unfair and it's not nice. That's all we can take on this segment. We'll come back with our next topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So there was a tweet that caught our attention we thought was important for us to discuss also. A young woman by her handle is at Khvnyi, I think. She said that I hate being a mother. It's one of my biggest regrets. And nobody can convince me that it's worth it ever. According to her, she says, being a mother is very overwhelming. I hate it, and if I could turn back the hands of time, I wouldn't have been a mother. But it doesn't mean I hate my child. It was towards the end of the 3rd trimester when I realized that I just ruined my life. I wanted to give her away after birth. And 8 months later, here we are. I'm giving her the best life ever, but do I hate her? No. Will I do anything for her? Yes. Would I do this again? Absolutely not. So I don't care about you being, okay, it's my situation, not yours. People are responding to her. And so I guess, and the reason why this was an important topic to talk about, because we're all mothers here, and we can almost see maybe where her frustration could be coming from. But it's also interesting to talk about how to get out of this situation, because sometimes, and again, online, social media, when you write things like this, is for life. You know, you don't want your kids growing up to see that you wrote this about their birth. But what are your own thoughts on that moment? Have you ever felt, do you understand where she's coming from? And have you ever felt that, I wish I didn't take this decision to be a mother?
I understand where she's coming from. I understand that motherhood can really be quite tough. Even from when you get pregnant, the pregnancy. I don't know if I've said it quite a few times here. My pregnancies are not easy. You know, where some of you will be glowing and bouncing about. I'm covered in rashes, you know, I'm constantly throwing up. People say you throw up only first 3 months, but for me it's until the, last. And so I found pregnancy especially quite difficult. And there were times then when I would say, I remember actually when I was having my 2nd child, I kept saying to my husband, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. Because it's a lot. While I was pregnant, there was a lady I met, I was just talking, and I was explaining how frustrated I was feeling. You know, I wasn't sleeping. Everything I ate, I would feel even more bloated on top of the pregnancy. And she called me out, don't say that. Do you know how long I've been looking for a child? I don't have one. And you could say, So I understood her, I empathized with her, but also I was carrying my own struggles. But now I have these children. I'm telling you, I love them. I think it's worth it, you know, but it takes having the children to realize it's worth it. But that does not mean that there are times where I'm looking at them, that they have done something and wondering, you know, like, it's tough being a mother. So you do everything, you have the child, you try to raise the child, and sometimes it's not as if these children are constantly angelic cherubs waiting to love you. They are back and forth with you sometimes, and you're wondering, did this come out of me? Why is it, you know? So it's tough, and some people may find it harder to, you know, to accept, to deal with. Then, you know, when you now read, especially child psychology books and all the things you're meant to do to raise a healthy child, then you realize how much you don't know. And how, you know, sometimes I'm like, I hope I'm not ruining these lives that God has given to me. Am I equipped enough to raise these children? So there are many times you also doubt yourself. But honestly, I think it's worth it. Because when I look at my life, everything I have and I don't have, these ones are the only ones I can say, you know what, if anything, at least these ones.
But you see, it goes back to why I always say that young people have no business this thing called marriage and motherhood and everything, because I'm looking at the picture, if that's a picture of the young girl that said this, sometimes your life is way ahead of you and there's so much to explore in this world that marriage should be the last bus stop. Like, for me, I always feel that explore, travel, meet people, go around the world, do stuff, because you get married, young women want to get into university, meet somebody in school, graduate from graduation, you get married, and now you're having a child. And that's what family expects you, boom, boom, boom. And then you're 21, 22, you have a child, and you're thinking, what? Because this is a whole new person that you have to be responsible for. So it comes with a lot of regrets when you are very young. Although some people, that's what they've been raised to look forward to it. So yeah, but that group is there. But there's some group that they want to live. There's no way I could have had my child at 21, 22. I won't be crying. I would have been frustrated. I would have been depressed.
People are doing
me, I would have, because of the kind of person, kind of energy I have. There's no way you want me to have a child at 20. What? No way. I have to have things to do, you know. But she's young and she's feeling that same way. But being a mother puts your career sometimes on hold. Secondly, it makes you get fat. We just discussed about being fat. Your body will change whether you like it or not. You might be a slim girl. People used to have this perfect body size. And this child that you had just made you big overnight. Not because you were eating wrongly, but because this child just had that happen to you. It can cause a woman to be depressed. You now start blaming that child for your weight. And some people never get rid of that weight. It takes them years. And that says it affects young mother, the psychology of a young mother. So there are many factors. I can understand where this child is coming from. YK, what are your thoughts? Let me come to you. Did you ever have this experience?
No. It's very difficult for me to, because I didn't even have, you know, there's the postpartum depression, there's the, you know, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
I carried badly, but for the first 3 months, but after that I was happy, and so I wanted the child. So it was a blessing for me. It was everything. So it's difficult for someone like me who everything went okay for to understand her. But then when you think of depression, which we do not really acknowledge in this part of the world, postpartum depression, it exists and it is bad.
Yeah.
It is bad. Yeah. This lady, I think, needs help.
Yeah. Certainly. For her to even expressing herself on social media, obviously she needs some real clinical psychologist or somebody to help her
to needs help.
Decode what this is and help her to get treated, because it can be treated. But again, go ahead.
Okay, so it's important. Support is really important. Marital support, you know, family support. And I remember, do you know, when I was much younger, I used to want to be a single mother. Like, that was my dream. I'll just, when I'm in my 30s, I'll have my son and I'm good. Yeah. Then I became pregnant and I realized I cannot do this without my husband. Do you understand? And many people have they have these issues because there's no support. So you may have a husband but does not understand how to support you, or you're far away from family and no one is there to support you. Usually when you're surrounded by people who love you, who are able to give you the help that you need, it helps with that thinking. Definitely, there's another thing about your body changing. For me, it was tough too. Like I knew my body changed, and sometimes I would look in the mirror and I'm like, I would cry. I told, when I was having my second child, the last antenatal I went for, I stepped on the scale. When I saw my weight, I just started crying on the scale, like, look at how much I weigh. You know, so many things, you know. And if I did not have the support of a good man, I'm sure I may have been on Twitter saying something like this. But honestly, love, support, being surrounded by people who are doing the same thing as you, who are going through the same thing. You have mothers who will come and tell you their stories, and you realize, oh, mine is not that bad, you know, or someone who is, because I had a friend who, she has 4 kids now, but every pregnancy, it was as if God would just put the sun on her face. She will be glowing, the makeup will look good, she will get up in the morning, she will do her walks. I'm like, where do you get the energy? Why am I not, you know?
Yeah.
But I have the children now, I'm happy that I do. But I understand where she comes from. She just needs more support and more love, and she may, you know, get out of it. But that does not take away the fact that there are some people who are not maternal. Even before they have children, they recognize it. So there are some that are dealing with just postpartum depression, and there's some that have said, you know what, I don't want to be a mother. I know I cannot be a mother. I can be an auntie, I can be a godmother, but I don't want to have to birth children and raise them. Let's recognize that there are people like that that exist, and don't put them under pressure to be who they are not. You know?
Fantastic point, you say, because there are people like that, and we in this part of the world, we don't try to recognize those kind of people. Because there are some people that I know that there's a woman who passed on. She's a family friend. I mean, I don't know if she's family or family friend, but I've known her since all my life. She never had a child, but she was the best auntie ever. She brings always cookies and biscuits, so she would be giving me stuff. I mean, I knew her when I came back home. I knew her as an adult. She was in her 60s. She eventually passed on. She had cancer, but she was such a very loyal auntie. She was always there to call and check up on you, to bring gifts. She enjoyed her role as a godmother, and she took it with pride. That she was somebody, you know, she would be counting on her godchildren. So there's some people like that, and for her, she was happy. She just never had children, and she was actually all happy. But you know, in Nigeria, we tell her it's a curse for family. That's
spiritual
how her family,
husband.
she's the only child of her family. It's a curse from the, you know. So those things were the label that she had to deal with. But for those of us who knew her closely, we knew that she was actually very happy in her presence. So there are people like that. But this girl, okay, let me come back to you.
I wanted to say, a lot of young people, you know, they get pregnant, they get married, 9 months later, they are mothers and fathers. They don't get to know each other. They don't get to love each other. I think that I was one of those people. We didn't enjoy each other. Do you understand? I think that getting to know yourselves when you get married, first love yourselves, travel around the world together, do honeymoon, just make that decision not to have children. Don't let anybody pressure you, because this part of the world, you get pregnant, I mean, you get married, everyone say,
counting the months.
You haven't, are you not doing your work? They will not face the man. That's how the man will start pressuring the woman. Oh, yeah, let's, no, let them enjoy. See, like Madi and Nedu.
Yeah. You don't know now, are you there? You know that?
Nobody is asking them questions. No, I know that they don't want to have children yet.
Yeah.
They have said it that
Leave us
if you are looking at her stomach, you are looking for fun. Because these ones have made decision. They are not having children yet.
Now.
They have, if you know when they have given the dates of where they want to have their first child, you know that these ones want to enjoy themselves. And I think young people should make
their own decision.
That decision or conscious decision. Okay, unless our own is just to be born, you know, we want to be. In fact, 1, 3, 4 before we are 30.
Yes,
that's
your own decision.
As long as it's a decision you made.
Let me take Busola's call from K2. Thanks for calling, Busola.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
First time caller. Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I want to say from my own experience anyway, that sometimes motherhood can be something. Let me not put that word regret, because of the children you have. And there are so many factors to that. Number one, you married. You are not enjoying your marriage. And because of that, when we come from in Africa, he said because of your children, you want to stay. And you are there, battling here and there, all sorts of. Then you manage to train that children. You manage. let me put it, I have 3 children. I just lost one, a final year student in Akure. Can that not be terrible? Won't you say that is so, I don't know how to put it. You've tried, you put in all your best to train, to nurture these children. And after all, if you are not lucky with a man, then these children are there for you. But at the end of the day, this is what happened. Won't one be regret in a motherhood? So, I just want to say, there are so many things. Although I'm not regretting, I still have some. But I'm just looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Because I look at it up from the beginning as if you are unlocking this world. As if the whole world is crumbling on you when you are not favored in any point. So one can regret that a motherhood. They will not regret.
Thank you so much, Busola, for sharing your story with us. So sorry about your son.
So
You're really sad. I mean, she has made a very, very important point. There's some women who, unfortunately, are not in a good marriage. And then you can't leave because your kids are there. You'd like to live the marriage. But as a mother, you're not a mother. You're not thinking of them. You can't just, usually if you're a single mother, if you're a mother, if you're a woman who's married to a man that is not good, you can just say, you know what, we're done, we can leave. But now kids are involved. That in itself ties you down and it makes you have to think of other factors. And then unfortunately, she now lost one of them and she feels like the whole world is upon her. I didn't hear a few of the details she said, but the point is that if she wasn't a mother, maybe she should have made certain kind of decisions that would have benefited her today. But when children are involved, it changes the entire equation for the kind of decisions we make.
But, I mean,
It's really sad. So when we come, so I'm going to go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll take in a few more calls and take a few more messages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still assessing the impact of motherhood on the woman's psychological well-being. And let's take this call from Lily. She's calling from Ketu. Good morning, Lily. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Yeah, okay, my name is Lily. I'm calling from Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to contribute to this segment. Okay, it's motherhood is not that easy. I think I'm facing the same. And I would just want to advise the person, just to, pick the pieces of herself.
Go ahead.
Yeah, to pick the pieces of herself because it's not easy. Because of the future of the children also is in the hand of the mother because we just need to pray. It's not easy to raise children at this time. And at the same time, marriages, there are different challenges in our marriages. It might be the man is not helping. The old trouble is upon that woman. I am facing it even in my marriage. Thank God I have a grown-up children now. At least I have 2 of them. One is about 23 years. But let's not what I passed through. That woman should get the pieces of herself. She should not be, she should not just be distressed. She should not be distressed. She should keep going on, praying, and at the end, she will still enjoy those children. Yeah. That's just my own little.
Thank you very much for sharing your story. Yeah. The truth is that the impact of motherhood, we can assess it at different levels. First, at the point of birth, which is what Miriam shared with us earlier. Then at the point of your career, at the point of building the home. Some women have to sacrifice everything they want for themselves. Maybe we are here buying lipstick, some women cannot buy it all. Yeah. Because the little money they have, they rather the children's school, the shoes, as I've spoiled, they have to, the shoemaker has to fix it. School books, pencil cases, all those you are buying, they don't have that extra money. They're sacrificing what their own needs, their own personal needs or wants for their children. And that's an assessment that is worthy of note, because the truth is that many people just assume it's okay, she be your child now, do it for your child now. But sometimes it's sacrificial to the woman. A lot of things you have to suppress, a lot of desires you want to have, but you can't because you have a mother. You're thinking first of that child, to put close to that child, especially if you don't have a husband who's supporting you. And a lot of women are in that shoe right now where their husbands are not very supportive.
Yeah.
Not because they don't want to, but because they are also trying to build a business. So there's so many other factors that you have to really assess myself, like as a mother, is this what it's supposed to be? Am I supposed to be here? Can I really handle this pressure as a mother?
I think people don't really take the sacrifices of motherhood seriously, or people don't understand. And I don't want to label it men. Don't understand, because I'm labeling. I don't want to label. That's why I say people don't understand the sacrifices a woman makes to be a mother. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the sacrifices are enormous. Yeah. They are so. I remember when my daughter was going to university, and I did without a lot of things because I saved that money. That this money, she wants to go to England, and that England she's going. Okay. I did not spend my money. I didn't buy a car. I didn't do anything because I wanted to train my daughter the way I wanted to give her the start in life that I felt she deserved. Yeah. You know, she didn't beg to be born. It was my decision to bring her to this world, so I sacrificed a lot to make sure that she went to school in England. You know, who sent me to school in England? Nobody now. Yeah. My father will look at you and say, oh, I beg,
you know? Take this call from Boluwatifa. I'll come back to you. Boluwatifa, thanks for calling. You're live. Hello, Boluwatifa.
Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, you're live, please.
I'll give advice concerning my mom. When I had my first child,
I can't hear you.
And it was so easy.
Maybe they can hear her at home.
This stressed me at all. But having the second child was so stressful. And that was just a single child. It was so stressful.
But Latifa, I can't hear you.
Sometimes.
Can you please let me call her back? I think she wanted to share her story because we really need to speak to her. Let's take a few comments on social media and see what we have.
Well, you're also talking about sacrifices that women make, you know, apart from physical and emotional, you know, like material that you said. And as you describing, you know, the sacrifices, of course, I'll always talk about my mom. My own mom's case, she was a widow. She lost her husband, and she lost her husband very early, you know, really early in their marriage, too young. She also got married very young, you know, and she lost her husband, and she had to take on the responsibility of taking care of 2 children. And a nurse on what salary, you know. And so that thing about motherhood, for a real mother, is that the mother is willing to sacrifice even her life so that she can see her children, you know, do well and do better. And so maybe for a young mother now realizing that, so there are many things you will not think of yourself first, you know. You walk into a shop to get something for yourself, then you remember your child. You remember your child needs food. You remember your child needs to go to school. So many things. It's not about you anymore. And the world that we live in right now, where it pushes this self-love, self-care, you find that you're constantly trying to balance the two. Okay, then when do I start this self-care? If all I can think about is how to care for these children, that everything I have, my emotions, my money, everything has to go into helping these children. My mom declined many job opportunities because she felt these children have lost their father. This job opportunity will take me away from them, so they'll lose their father and their mother at the same time. So many decisions she took because we were in her life. Maybe her life would have turned out much more different. But, you know, she was happy to do it. And she talks about it with so much, you know, the sacrifice. Mothers are doing quite a lot. And really, what mothers need is support. The way we've always done it in Africa, used to do it, where you're constantly surrounded by family and you're surrounded by friends. I think, help cushion a lot of the issues that people are suffering right now. Now, you sort of tend to do it alone, especially for those who have jackpot now on their own, raising this child, bringing this child. Yes, you may have a supportive husband or family, but they're in a different country. You know, so there's nobody there. So these are the issues that people are dealing with now that may make motherhood even harder, you know, than it already is. But truly, in the end, I believe it is worth it. Sometimes your child will look at you and smile or say something so innocently beautiful to you, you know. I'm like, did this come from me, you know? So
can I take some messages? Yes. Structure says, the woman is suffering from postpartum depression, simple as ABC. She should get treatment ASAP because it's a major risk for major depressive illness in future. Hafsat says, when my mom...
Have them take a tie. Oh, we lost it. Tie, are you there? I think we lost it. Go ahead.
Hafsat says, when my mom tells us some of the things she went through when we were in school, in some that she still can't tell us up till now. I used to feel grateful she didn't let us know back then because it would have broken us as children. Moses Ade says there are so many variables here and nature is not in favor of the woman. For Lashade, that's so profound.
Nature is not in favor of the woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Because...
So for me, I feel like from when you start giving birth, your body starts deteriorating. That's nature. A woman does not become more of, yes, now, you know, with technology and science, we're trying to do that. But naturally, you start to lose yourself. You lose a lot. I've heard people who have gone blind because they started having children, or who have this pain in their back or in their legs because they've had children, or have this heart condition that they have for the rest of their life because they had children. Women have lost their lives because they have children. Now, that's just on the physiological part. Now, then talk about society. Where once you have children, you're labeled a certain way. You cannot push for some things, you cannot be in some rooms because you're used goods. You know, so many things, and he's right. So that's where we now need human beings to do better for women.
I think the worst part is after a certain period, you can't even have these children anymore.
Yeah.
When you are in your 40s or your 50s, if you carry, you are risking your life. You know, you only have a time limit. A man can have a child at 70.
Let me take this call for Mommy, calling from Ikeja. Thanks for calling in your live.
Yeah, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I have a contribution to make about this topic this morning. So, what I can say is, I pray God Almighty makes all women marry, we should marry right. When you marry a partner that doesn't really care, then having a child too, is going to be difficult too, very, very difficult. I could remember when I was way younger than this, my mom got married twice. You see, the two husbands like this are just nothing but, they are just trash, honestly, because my growing up was so tough. My mom is the one doing everything. Even when she's sad, she has nobody to share the story with. So me, while growing up, my sister, I just have to be very smart when choosing, and God to help me out. Thank God for the wonderful husband I have and the family, to my husband's family. When I put to bed, they are all there for me. They help me out. I have a lot of friends going through a lot of things now during their motherhood phase. It's not easy at all. Some are even depressed, and they look so tattered
and worn out. Yeah.
Because the husband is not even helping.
Yeah.
They all put all the burden on the wife, and they are not even supportive 100%. It's tiring, honestly. Many women are going through a lot. God help us.
Thank you so much.
It reminds me of something. Okay.
Falashade Treasure, sorry, I just wanted to read this. As humans, we need to be more empathetic towards one another, particularly as spouses. Motherhood is not easy, and men shouldn't see it as a woman's responsibility alone.
So what she just said reminded me of something that happened to me. As I described, my pregnancy can be really tough. One of my friends comes into the house. She's like, "Why are you looking like this?" I'm like, "I beg, leave me." She was like, "If she was the one, her husband would not agree." I said, "So in your pregnancy, you still have to make sure you're a certain way." She said, "Yes." No. Then my husband walks in. My hair was out in the afro, and then he comes and then he rubs my hair, like, and he walks away. She looked like, "What? Like, what was that?" I said, he loves me the way I am. So do you understand? I did not have the pressure to
look a certain way.
Look a certain way in my discomfort.
Hey,
I was accepted in my discomfort and I was appreciated. That went a long way. So I can now imagine someone who is finding it difficult. Then you now have this husband who says, have you made your hair? Have you done this? Have you have you fried chips instead of made pounded yam for me? And then you carry all this. It makes it harder. When you talk to, I mean, I've seen messages on social media where it seems that men actually, you know, younger men, they don't seem to understand the extent, you know, what it takes to carry a child and give birth to a child. We need a place where we can talk to young men. It's not just about getting pregnant and then giving birth after 9 months. Yes, for some people, it can be easy, but for some, it takes a toll on them. There was this trend that was going around about a girl showing herself pregnant. And then men were coming for Nigeria and say, look at them. See how this one is smart. You know, as a pregnant woman, you just let yourself go. It doesn't work like that for everyone. And you need to understand that it takes a lot of work. Mentally, physically, emotionally, every way. And you need to show support.
Very soon, but I'd like each of us to advise this young lady. You know, what would you say? She was your sister that tweeted something like this, that, you know, she wished she regrets being a mother. You know, some are saying she should say she regrets the responsibilities of being a mother, but it's more than that. Even being a mother, the psychological effect of being a mother in itself can weigh you down. But let us each give her an advice that you think is appropriate. Mike, you want to start?
I would just say she needs to see someone. She needs to see an expert. And I don't want to label it a psychologist or an expert. Whatever she's going through, at least so she can accept that she's a mother and move forward, because there's nothing she can do about it.
To help that line of thought, go to a general hospital, go to a hospital, just tell the doctor how you feel, and they will refer you to a psychologist or somebody you need to speak to, because maybe when they hear therapist or but they don't know what to do. Go to a general hospital. They're likely to get you somebody and refer you to somebody you can talk to.
Yes, in addition to that, for me, my advice would be to those who are around her, because I notice that in situations like this, it's less about what you say but what you do. Be around her. If you can close from work early, go and spend some time, hold the child, allow this woman to be able to take a few hours of sleep. Just be in constant communication. If you cannot be there, you know, continue to gist with them, because sometimes you feel that once you've had a child, you're sort of excommunicated from people. Send messages so that she wakes up to read messages. This thing to show that she's still part of a thriving life, you know, outside this, would also go a long way in helping a woman in that situation.
Yeah, I think also for me, let's say if I'm going to be talking to her, I'll say, listen, these two shall pass. You know, it's a phase. Every mother will go through this phase. It will get better in future. There'll be a time where you're in your 50s, you're thankful for that. This is a rough patch. It's eventually, it's hard. It looks as if your life is being taken away from you because you have to be responsible to this creature in your hands. But the truth is, if you can just walk through this season, it's a season, it will pass. And you'll be in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and thankful for this beautiful child that you sacrificed to raise. And, you know, and the truth is that then you have that satisfaction. So it's a phase. And hopefully, just as Mariam said, family should be around her and she should see a professional. That should also help her. Let's take a few more comments before we wrap up so we can move on to the show.
I have just one. Samiama says, women need to be more open and honest about their experiences in motherhood and marriage so other women are able to make informed decisions.
Please, that is a fantastic comment.
Women need to be more open and honest about their experiences in motherhood and marriage so other women are able to make informed decisions. We make it look as if it's easy.
Yes. We think it's normal. The truth is that we're not sharing our stories to young people. We're not sharing it to each other. Because the more we share these stories, the more people realize that, okay, this person went through this. I can go to her, she can help me. This is what the person... I was telling you, when I had my own... I always share this story all the time. When I had my own baby, and the doctor, he was not at birth me. He sewed me up so tightly. I was in serious pain. I couldn't tell anybody. I was just crying inside. I was in serious pain. My mother came in, sat down. She was eating an apple. She was just talking and gisting and just happy that calling everybody. Your daughter has given birth. Your daughter has born. You know, she was just calling everybody and they're happy. Didn't realize I was in serious pain. It was her sister that walked up the stairs. As she entered my room, okay, this girl is in pain. My mother was like, hey, really? I said, this girl is in pain. She called me and she, are you okay? She now started getting things to help me out. I couldn't tell what the pain was. She just knew I was in pain. She took me to the hospital. So the truth is that we need family.
Yeah.
We need to share these stories. So tell people what you went through so that they can learn and share the stories to others. So a girl like this will get information that, listen, I need help. I need to go to a doctor. You know, it's never easy anywhere, but you know, being a mother is one of the greatest.
The stories you'll be hearing is the snatch back story.
Yeah.
I had my baby 3 weeks ago, snap back.
Yeah.
It does not work that way.
That's all we can take for time has gone. But I hope we learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.